So, Maddy Cobb, hello! Welcome to the Purple Taxi.
I'm liking your purple jumper. Actually, you look very kind of...
delicious.
This actually looks stylish.
It's not stylish. No, but not by me. But it's homemade
gorgeous.
by me.
I was about to say...
By my mama.
And it's bang on brand.
And
But it's
warm.
actually absolutely stunning. Could your mum kind of knit us up all one of those for next year?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Maddy Cobb, so Virgin Media, thank you, you and the London Electric Vehicle Company.
Electric, of course, you know, environmentally friendly.
Yes.
Thank you, and you're
Tickety-tick.
head of sustainability at
Yes, I
Virgin
am.
Media. And here we are in London, great capital city of
Yes.
the UK, driving around, talking about the valuable 500 and
Yes.
Purple Light Up. So big high five to you. We couldn't have done this, obviously, without you, and we really, really appreciate your support. So Maddy, I wonder if you could share with us, first of all of the millions of things that you're doing at Virgin Media and why this matters to you.
Well, it massively matters, as you know, because
Yeah.
we're both really involved with you guys. So we've got a big, bold target of supporting 1 million people with the skills and confidence to get into and stay in work by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So that's our kind of big, hairy goal right out there.
Yeah.
And we partner with Scope to help do that.
New strategic partners of PurpleSpace.
And with
We are joining all those dots.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. So there are two main programs that we do that with. So there's one called Support to Work,
Okay.
which is an employment service. So that supports disabled job seekers, gives them the skills, the confidence, wherever they are on their career journey. So whether they're starting out or facing particular barriers or actually quite on in their career or have just acquired a disability, whatever,
Fabulous.
they can have bespoke, tailored advice. So it's a 12-week program where a one-on-one advisor will literally walk you through what you need and give you tips and advice. And there's also an online portal for people to just self-serve, dip in, dip out, family, friends, whatever. So, you know, it doesn't have to be that. That's a bespoke service as well. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
We also signed and launched the page Work With Me. And that is meant to be a safe space for businesses to talk to each other about building more inclusive culture,
Yep.
learning about the boring stuff, the policies, the practices, it's boring, but it's
But
essential.
it's really
Yep.
important.
Kind of the hygiene factors.
Yeah. But if you don't get the basics right, you can't start talking and going out there and doing cool things
No.
like this.
No.
Because you've got to have that legitimacy, credibility, all of that stuff. So I say boring, but I love it. So there are 5 points to the pledge that businesses make. You don't have to pay. We're not making you accountable. We just want your commitment and to have those honest conversations with us. So, accountability, board level accountability. Basically look under the bonnet, see what's going on, help build an inclusive culture, have those conversations with your staff, have training for your line managers, all that groovy stuff. Measure and celebrate as well. So celebration, like today, is a really big part of it. So just keep that belonging culture.
Well, that board level accountability piece that you have around this pledge, I guess, is one of the reasons that you guys, well, first are our strategic partner for the Valuable 500, and really put a punt behind me and believed in me before really anybody else. It was Paul Pullman and Jeff Dawes. Thank you so much.
We're really lucky to have Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. So is it Jeff? He's the COO of Virgin Media?
He's the COO of Virgin Media, and he's our executive sponsor of all things disability.
Yeah.
You know him really well. He is...
Well, he gave me this purple
gets
ridiculous
it.
hairy jacket.
He gets
so.
it.
Just gets it.
He gets it. And I mean, it is so important to have that leadership, someone who's passionate, asks questions, pushes, make sure that, you know, it's a bit too difficult is just not acceptable. So we are very lucky, and you just need that leadership.
So on that piece is, you know, all this other work that you're doing, if you didn't have the board level support, do you think that, because you also a sponsor of the Paralympics as well, I mean, you do a lot of stuff. If you didn't have that leadership support, do you think that you would be integrating disability so effectively into your business? Do you think it would have just been enough on its own?
I think where I've sort of been in this field for a long time, and there really is a difference. We would be doing this work, we'd be getting the articles out, we'd do some external comms, we'd have some great partnerships, but it just would not be elevated to the next level. We wouldn't get that board to board level engagement. You wouldn't have this purple fluffy, we wouldn't maybe be in this taxi. It is absolutely the icing and cherry on top, if you want, and it's just the driving force. If you have those barriers, you know, this is too expensive, it's pushing it on the priority list from here to here. I mean, it really does make.
And I think this is what Kate and I mean, this is why having these partnerships is so important. And I think I think the world of business has found the fractured nature of our sector quite difficult.
Yes, it's
right?
true.
So for us to join up and bring the power of employees and the power of leadership together, I mean, how do you find that as a business? Is that...
It's brilliant, I must admit. So where I previously worked, it was like, oh, here's another pledge, here's another good cause, we sign up to this, and how's this one different to that one? And you kind of think, as you've got, maybe as an inclusion practitioner, you think, oh, like, enough, let's do this one, we've done that one, let's not complicate things. But the fact that you've got your place and you're joined up and you're talking to each other, so we can talk about it really neatly. And so the valuable is at board level. We've got Work With Me, which is business to business. We've got the inclusive with PurpleSpace, the inclusive culture. We've launched our ultraviolet network groups.
Oh, superb.
I just love the name.
That's deadly.
Called Ultraviolet.
They had purple donuts last year, and Jeff was in a ludicrously purple suit. It was quite the thing.
Slightly obscene.
I wouldn't say that. It's interesting. Can I ask you, one of the things that I've been banging on about is this idea of coming out. And I came out of the disability closet 20 years ago. And well, first of all, I'm making an assumption that you don't have a lived experience of disability. So I'm making that assumption because I haven't heard you talk about it. If you had a lived experience of disability, do you think that your career would have been any different?
If I didn't have a disability, my career would be very different, because I do have a long-term health condition, and it's completely, so let me rewind here. This lady here, and I don't know if you remember this, where I previously worked, she came as PurpleSpace to talk to where I previously worked about setting up a disability employer network. And you talked about your lived experience. And I was sitting there with my work hat on, with other people who were there just interested.
I remember.
Yeah.
What?
I started crying, but in a sort of, but in a kind of, I don't want people to see me sort of, because I also had got arthritis when I was 17, and it was very debilitating. I had to leave university. I was very, very poorly for quite a long time, and that story resonated with me so much, and I don't talk about it very often.
I remember. I'm having a moment.
Yeah, I came up to you afterwards, and again, I didn't want my colleagues to see. It really touched me. But anyway, I guess what I'm getting at, that was that kind of bit of a personal moment there, is
by the way, thank you.
So I, had to leave university. What I'm saying is, sometimes your career is a bit of chance and luck and fate, or all those mixture, whatever you want to call it. And if I hadn't dropped out, gone back, done this, and not taken, I had to not do certain work experiences because I wasn't well at that time, I would not be where I am. I really would not be where I am now, which I'm not saying, I'm no CEO, and I've had very illustrious people in your cab, but I love my job. And
you're head of sustainability. That's that's nothing to be shirked at.
I know. I absolutely love it. And if I hadn't my lived experience, it wouldn't be where I'm now. So I wouldn't want it any differently. So, you have those really hard times, hard years, episodes, flare-ups, whatever. Yeah. And but it gives you that extra resilience, determination that helps me in my job.
A wonderful story. First, at a personal level, a huge high five. It takes us as individuals time to share our story and to choose when and how, and the fact that you're doing that, it just makes my heart glow, because you're being who you are, you're being real, you're being authentic.
That is it.
Yeah.
They're the values that I hold dearest.
Yeah.
So
and
authenticity,
it's hard.
Yeah.
But a big high five. Yeah. Adore you to bits. And I do remember. So, Maddy, this is a serious subject. You've just shared with us how much it touches us as individuals, and we have to learn how to be who we are as individuals with health conditions and disability, and this takes time and practice. So as we close, I've got a really, really serious question.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Purple Haze or Purple Rain? Are you more Hendrix or Prince?
Purple rain, purple rain.
Prince.
Is there anybody who's more Purple Haze than Purple Rain?
I bet there are, but it has to be the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yay.
But I have to say, there's just one more thing I've just been thinking of it.
Yeah.
We all forget of the 1.3 billion people who have a lived experience of disability, 80% acquire between the ages of 18 and 64. is you.
Yeah.
And thank you. Because I think when we all tell our stories, that makes such a big difference, doesn't it? Because it's the workforces need to be able to, or the companies need to be made to make sure that they allow for that, the changing life circumstances.
I think it's companies like Virgin Media that are now creating that tipping point.
Yeah.
You know, here we are in this wonderful taxi, thanks to you. We're just about to finish, but I think as we leave this interview, Maddy, and thank you so much for your support, I think it's about tipping point.
Yeah.
And Virgin Media is supporting this process of high-level, top-level leadership commitment, coupled by investing in your own people through the network to enable those individuals to be who they are, as you have just done. So that's where it rocks.
Yeah.
Purple
Absolutely.
rain. Keep on raining.
Yeah. Right. We need a purple suit, velvet suit.